I don't think Hull City need any new signings.
Little bit surprised, I must admit.
I'm still not ruling out a final move because you never, ever know.
Hello there everyone and welcome, it is Niran here, and today it is time for yet another episode of Hull City Career Mode here on FIFA 17. Today we've got, I think, 2 games probably because we've got a few transfers to sort out, but I'll get onto that in a moment. Thank you guys ever so much for the support on the last video that I uploaded, which was a sort of parody skit type video, and you guys really seem to enjoy it, so thank you ever so much for the support on that. Today though we've got the remainder of the transfer window going through deadline day as well. I'm hoping certainly to get 1 transfer done, if not more than that potentially. We'll have to see how that goes though. We're definitely playing Ipswich Town though in the FA Cup 4th round in this episode. They are the team that knocked us out of the EFL Cup in the first season, so not exactly looking forward to playing them. And then we've got 1 game in February as well where we're playing Swansea, and you can see that we've also got to play Bayern Munich as well in the round of 16 of the Champions League. So we're not getting dealt very well at the moment in terms of the Champions League, so that's been drawn already. I didn't realise that. So we struggled a little bit for action last time. We only got 1 goal in the whole of the episode. Obviously quite a lot of transfer activity, but in terms of goals there wasn't too much. The man who did score the only goal in that episode though was Abel Hernandez, and hence he is your player of the episode for the last episode of the series, which means he plays in every single game of today's video, which is against Ipswich Town and Swansea. Now I also gave you guys the chance to vote on a centre-back for us to sign at the end of this January transfer window, and you guys voted. I did get the votes, and it actually was pretty close, to be honest with you. There was a fair amount of votes for every single player involved, but in the end it was Kenneth Omaruo of Chelsea. Despite being, I think, the oldest player on the list, he was the one who won the vote in the end. I suppose the more realistic of all the transfers. Very strong, very pacey, good aggression as well as jumping. We got an inquiry back from Chelsea. They asked for £7 million, which means we can probably dip a little bit lower than that. So we're going to offer 4.7 straight up, which I think is a pretty fair deal, to be honest with you. We're also going to go in for the 2 players that came 2nd and 3rd in that vote, just in case. Davinson Sanchez got the 2nd most amount of votes, I do believe, in this poll, so we're going to try and get him. Ajax only wanted £5.5 million. Davinson Sanchez will go in for him as sort of a 2nd option behind Omaruo. And check out his wages as well, they're ridiculously low too. And then the 3rd player was Cesar Montes of Monterrey. Now to be fair, I'm a little bit more sceptical as to whether we'd actually be able to afford him. So we're going to make a £7 million bid. I don't think it'll come down to it anyway. Now I won't lie to you, I think it's pretty unlikely we'll get a deal done for a centre-back before this Ipswich Town game, so they're unlikely to make their debut in this cup match, which is quite annoying. Chelsea rejecting our bid of not £7 million, we offered 4.7 for on Omaruo, so we'll have to increase that bid. Ajax also rejected our bid for Davinson Sanchez, but interestingly Monterrey straight up accepted 7 million, so we'll make a new bid for Kenneth Omaruo. We'll just slap 5.5 on the table. I think they should accept that. Okay, so some transfer offers then have been accepted. Kenneth Omaruo, £5.5 million, and also Davinson Sanchez, £4.8 million. Kenneth Omaruo only wants 70k, apparently, so that's fine, I guess. He's wanting a pay drop. That's absolutely fine, Kenneth. I will not argue with that. Well, I was wrong. We could have got the deal done for Kenneth Omaruo before the Ipswich Town game. We actually still could. This is still the day before. We'll just slap important first team player on, because he's probably going to play quite a lot of games anyway. It doesn't really matter at this point. So we'll go ahead and do that, and he should accept that offer, really. It's all sorted then. Kenneth Omaruo has accepted that contract offer, the 2nd one that we put on the table for him of 70k a week with an important first team player as the squad role, and coincidentally on the exact same day we've got the scout report for him. He's 78 overall. Oh my days, I actually wasn't expecting that. I thought he'd be like 75 or 76. That's a very good deal actually, because we haven't actually bought him for that much, have we? We only bought him for like 5.5 mil. He's the oldest of the players and probably doesn't have the highest potential, but he seems like overall wise, I think he's the best player out of the lot, so fair play to everyone who voted. Kenneth Omaruo is our newest signing for Hull City. So then, for everyone that was interested, here are the attributes of Kenneth Omaruo, and he looks a very decent player. 82 sprint speed, 86 jumping, and 84 strength. So pacey, strong, and good aerially as well. Decent heading accuracy, not the greatest, but it's pretty decent still. Good interceptions and composure, which is nice for a defender. Time then for the first game of today's episode, and we're up against Ipswich Town in the FA Cup. Very wary of these guys because they beat us in the EFL Cup with a very weak team that we had that day. I have somewhat learnt my lesson from that, but I am still rotating the squad. The likes of Rusnak, Ofori, Hernandez and Valkvist are still in the side, as well as Stefaniak, with the likes of Bailey and Kozielo on the bench, and it's also a debut for Kenneth Omaruo after signing from Chelsea, as well as a first start for the club for our Romanian winger Dorin Rotariu. Again, as I mentioned, the squad is kinda weak in comparison, but it's still good enough to beat Ipswich Town. We should still be able to do this. Even the young players that are playing are guys that have impressed me before. Ipswich on the wing, ball towards the back post there, shot coming in, and somehow that has gone over the bar. Is Ipswich Town our kryptonite? Because I can feel it coming already. Somehow Marshall has literally thrusted himself at the ball. It's literally hit him square in the balls and it's gone and it's bounced into the ground over the bar. That is the first time I've ever seen anyone save the ball with their balls. I think that is the first. That's a first. That is a series first. Honestly, it is. Hernandez has been found by Rusnak. Now it's out to the left-hand side towards Stefaniak, who can cut inside, goes for a shot and almost finds the bottom corner. The far post was begging for the ball to connect to it, but unfortunately Stefaniak couldn't quite find it. Good effort though. It's out wide towards Ward, back into the box towards Sears. How is Freddie Sears winning the ball in the air against Kenneth Omaruo, who's twice his height and has like 80 jumping? Nevertheless, at half-time it is 0-0, and Ipswich Town look the better team. I will not lie to you. Ipswich Town fully do look the better team. Here's Odubajo, now to Stefaniak, and he can put a good ball into the box. Towards the back post towards Rotariu, who probably isn't going to win that in the air, but he's caused some issues. It's back towards Albert Rusnak. Decent effort. Oh, Stefaniak there has won the ball in a great position. It's to Abel Hernandez, who puts the ball wide. Oh, dearie me. Abel, where have your shooting boots gone recently? I know he scored last episode, but that's a dismal effort, to be quite honest with you. And I think that is going to mark a change in this game, because this is not just a knee-jerk reaction to a bad miss, but Hernandez isn't really giving me enough anymore. And I was meant to have Azmoun on the bench. But I don't even care. Dave Fraser's coming on. Hopeful ball over the top towards Ward, but Stefaniak will deal with that comfortably. And again, Stefaniak tracking back without really any prompt from me. His CPU was running back just then. Now he can run forwards. It's into a four. There's a man over. It's Leon Bailey. Can Bailey get a goal? No, he can't. Good save from Bartosz Białkowski. Oh, Kozielo here through towards Mitchell. It's back towards Kozielo, who can't finish, but it does fall to Ebenezer Ofori, who can put the ball in on the rebound. Great bit of passing play. Kozielo to find Dave Fraser. Back to Kozielo. He can't finish, but the save falls straight to the Ghanaian central midfielder, Ebenezer Ofori. And the man we signed in the summer gets his second goal for the club. Hopefully, that is enough to see us progress to the 5th round of the FA Cup. Just 4 minutes from time. Now Stefaniak's going to try and get back at Ward, but doesn't have the pace. Unusually, ball into the box, and McGoldrick hits the crossbar. My goodness gracious me. Our centre-backs haven't won anything in the air all day, and it didn't change there. That was almost heartbreaking at the end of this game, but thankfully it doesn't matter because we do win the game and progress to the next round of the FA Cup. And after 2 wins in a domestic cup, that is the furthest we've managed to get in this entire series so far. We do get our revenge over Ipswich Town, beating them 1-0 here at the KC Stadium. We were pretty lucky there, I won't lie. Ipswich Town could have definitely taken the lead in the first half and definitely could have equalised right at the end with the McGoldrick chance. But we do win the game. Ebenezer Ofori, the goal scorer, gets man of the match, and Kenneth Omaruo does get an 8 rating on his debut. He was very solid on the ground. In the air, I only saw him jump for about 2 aerial challenges, but he lost both of them, and one of them was to Freddie Sears, so him and Van Drongelen definitely need to improve on that. Now, I won't lie, unless we get a blockbuster bid for one of our players, this transfer window is probably done. Part of me really just wants to spice things up here and just do a ridiculous counter offer. Onyinye and Ndidi will reject all offers because I just love Ndidi, but we're gonna counter offer for Sonjust because I'm just bored, to be quite honest with you. I genuinely am. Let's say we want 15.5 mil from Everton. They might come back to us, I don't know. Spicy developments here, ladies and gentlemen. Everton have decided they want to put forward £13.5 million for Jerry St-Juste. The reality is he should be a player that I'm not even considering selling because he's been fantastic. So we're going to put 17.5 mil forward as a counter offer. If this game has any sense whatsoever, it'll just decline that. But that's probably how much I'd be willing to part with St-Juste for. And the reason why I'm doing this really is because if we just reject bids for every single player that we ever get a bid for, we're never going to actually have a situation when we need to buy players. Johan Cardinal is a fantastic example, actually. I think 9.5 mil for Johan Cardinal. No, actually no. Well, we'll counter offer 10. We'll counter offer 10. Everton have stepped up their bid to 14.5 mil for Jerry St-Juste. Honestly, it's going to have to be 17.5. I'm just going to keep countering that, to be honest with you. Stade Rennais have come back with the most illogical transfer sum there has ever been for Johan Cardinal of £7 million, 694,949 quid. I don't even know why I'd want to accept that offer. More for OCD purposes than anything else. Yeah, okay, 9.694, that'll do. Whatever that number is, that will do. Everton do not believe Jerry St-Juste is worth that much, so they're done. So St-Juste is staying. I think what's happened here is that's all the money they have. I reckon Rennes are in a situation where they literally only have 7.6 million. Well, let's have a little look. Okay, well, Stoke have beaten that already. So let's put a counter offer in of £9.5 million to Stoke for Johan Cardinal. Now, whilst we're waiting, just because I want to be prepared, we're going to make some inquiries. I only have one, really, that's as good as Cardinal that I could pick up to replace him, and it's this guy, Yvonne Mvogo from BSC Young Boys. So BSC Young Boys now want £13 million for Yvonne Mvogo, and Stoke City have matched our bid of 9.5 mil for Johan Cardinal. So Cardinal is going out of the door. Johan Cardinal, out of nowhere, has gone. I don't know how it's happened. I don't know when it happened. I don't know why it's happened. But it's happened anyway. To be honest with you, Johan Cardinal has been good when we bought him, but he hasn't been, oh my god, insane. So now, oh, we only got 7 mil. Oh, geez, we only got 7 mil. Okay, so we probably need... I don't know if we could even afford Mvogo then. There are players that we can look at apart from Mvogo. We're still going to make a bid from Mvogo because we have the money now. We're going to go straight in with what we can afford for Yvonne Mvogo, which is really 9 mil. We can't really push it much more than that without pushing the budget allocation. Now, I did prepare a little bit for this eventuality, but probably not as much as I should have done. Because now we're having to make bids for players without even getting an inquiry for them, because I don't think we have time. We're going to make a bid as well here for Jordan Pickford of £8 million. It might be completely over the top. I genuinely don't know. I don't even know what his potential is at this point in the save. This is completely impromptu. And the final player we're going to look at is Stefanos Capino of Olympiakos. I'm guessing we could probably put in quite a low offer for him. So we're going to offer about 6.8 mil. Good news, BSC Young Boys and Sunderland have accepted our bids for Yvonne Mvogo and Jordan Pickford respectively. So we're just going to go ahead and make contract offers for them. Olympiakos want 12 mil for Capino. I can't really be bothered with that. So we're just going to make a contract offer now for Mvogo, who wants 20k a week. We can do that, so that's absolutely fine. And we're also going to bid for Jordan Pickford. Now, in my mind, I don't really know what to do here, because I don't know what overall Jordan Pickford is, for a start. But I know Pickford would be a more realistic signing. 5 hours left. We've actually done this in pretty super quick time, to be honest with you. I expected to have much more of an issue with these deals. And Yvonne Mvogo and Jordan Pickford have both accepted. So now we have a decision on our hands. Who do we go for? Yvonne Mvogo and Jordan Pickford. I understand Pickford would be a much more realistic signing as well. However, I have no idea what his rating is right now, or any inkling, given we haven't got an inquiry about him either. I feel like Yvonne Mvogo is the safe option, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to sign Yvonne Mvogo. I will sign Jordan Pickford at some point in a career mode that I do in the future. In hindsight, I really wish I'd just inquired for Jordan Pickford, because then I wouldn't have had this issue, and we probably would have signed him instead. We're going to have to reject the Englishman for Sunderland. So in a strange turn of events, we now have a new goalkeeper. I wasn't expecting that going into this episode or going into this deadline day, but Yvonne Mvogo is our new signing. You can see his stats there along the right-hand side. His best attribute is diving. He's also got 80 reflexes as well, which is pretty good. One negative though is he's got quite a weak positioning. Hopefully that doesn't harm him too much in his exploits in the EPL for the rest of this season. That though is the end of a much more hectic deadline day than I was expecting. We've signed a new goalkeeper. We've brought in Yvonne Mvogo to replace Johan Cardinal, who of course has just signed for Stoke City. We've got a training injury here, and it's Josh Timon. Time for the second and final game then of today's episode. A very hectic one, and it's a surprising debut for a man in between the sticks. Yvonne Mvogo, who I did not expect to have at the club going into this game against Swansea, is making his debut in between the Hull City sticks. Time for a quick trip to the Liberty Stadium then to face Swansea City. You can see though that it's a player debut, just confirmation for Yvonne Mvogo, the Swiss goalkeeper, in from BSC Young Boys. It'll be interesting to see how he does. He was someone that we thought about signing in Leicester career, but never did in the end. Swansea City side is the usual really, apart from the fact they've signed Martin Braithwaite from Toulouse, which is quite a nice signing actually. I could imagine that happening in real life actually, weirdly. Oh, something actually that I forgot to mention going into this game is Sardar Azmoun is back, so he's on the bench for today as Vincent Cosiello is trying to find some space. He's got Hernandez in support, and Hernandez finds the back of the net. It is an early goal in this game for us. Great finish as well from Abel Hernandez. Great play from Cosiello to set that one up, and it is another goal for Hernandez, the man with the most assists in this series so far, combines with the man with the most amount of goals in this series so far. Through to Mason. Bailey's made a good run. Can he make it 2-0? No, he can't. It hits the inside of the post. Oh, that would have been a fantastic time for a goal, but we haven't quite done it. Cosiello's bursting through into the area as well. There's a man in the middle. It's a Forey, but he can't quite get his head on it. Just probing on the edge of the area. Now to Cosiello, who goes for a long shot and finds the top corner. What a goal from Vincent Cosiello. We've seen him do it before. He did it against Sunderland earlier on in the season, and that is a phenomenal finish from outside of the area from the Frenchman. He drifts past his man Jack Cork and unleashes an unstoppable strike into the far corner. Lucas Fabianski with no chance at all, and we do get that second goal. We do double our lead. It is an 11th goal of the season for the EPL's top goal scorer this season, Vincent Cosiello. It's incredible. It's outrageous. But it is the way, and it is only the way with Vincent Cosiello. He knows the way. He knows the way. As Cutsy Gaming would say, I can't remember whether it was Armand Gui or Frank Matip who used to say that, but he knows the way, and Ofori knows the way towards goal as well. He's cutting inside and trying to get a shot away, but can't. Here comes Ofori. It's out wide to Bailey. Can he finally get that goal? He does. It is in off the hand of Fabianski, and we take a 3-0 lead in this game. Leon Bailey doesn't... That's actually interesting. I've never seen that celebration before. I've never seen a player just not celebrate. That's quite cool, actually. I like that. But after the half an hour mark, we're 3-0 ahead of Forey. Very clever ball, actually, out wide to Bailey. Fabianski gets a hand to it. Probably could have done better. So second half's underway. More of the same, really, is what we're asking for in this one. I would hazard a guess here as Leon Bailey's flipping it. Leon Bailey's on a mad one. Leon Bailey is on a mad one. Valkvist is up the pitch for no apparent reason whatsoever. Hit a long shot, son. Great save from Fabianski. Chance for a counter-attack here as well. Paul Georges and Tepp is in acres of space down the left-hand side. Going to use his pace to burn away from the Swansea defenders. Cuts inside, goes for a finesse, and that is an awful effort from Paul Georges and Tepp. That should have been 4. Here's Ndidi. Cosiello, now to Cyprien, now through to Bailey. Can he get a chance? No, he can't put it into the back of the net. Oh, good bit of play there from Swansea, but what a save from Yvonne Mvogo. That is his first good save as a whole player, and that was a spectacular one, one-handed. Oh, hello, it's going to get knocked to one side for Leroy Fer. That is a good effort. That was a very good shot. Swansea getting closed down here, and they've put themselves in danger, and Tepp back to Hernandez, and that's 4. It's as simple as you like. Swansea pressing the self-destruct button, and it's a second goal for Hernandez. An assist and some great pressing play from Tepp, and that puts the icing on top of the cake. Fabianski, I think, did just get a tiny touch on it, but can't keep it out, unsurprisingly, at that close range. No chance for a 5th in the game, unsurprisingly, given the 4th came in injury time, but that is the end of a very convincing performance against Swansea City, a side that's always proved to be difficult whatever the end result has been, but today they weren't really a match for the likes of Cosiello there, who you saw. Vincent Cosiello gets man of the match, as he has done countless times already. already in this series. Abel Hernandez with a 9.4, Ebenezer Afori with a 9.4 as well. And good shouts to Leon Bailey and Paul George and Tep. That's probably the best display I've seen all season from two wingers at the same time. And Tep with an 8.6 and Bailey with a very deserved 8.9. Just when you think the kid's going to get into good form, Leon Bailey picked up a sprained knee and will be out for 3 weeks then. Bit of a shame that he's out. Thankfully it's not for too long. Hopefully he can regain the form that he showed there against Swansea when we next see him. As you guys know by now, there'll be a poll on the top right of the screen which will take you to the player of the episode vote, and you guys know the stakes by now. The player who wins that vote will play in every single game of the next episode of this series. And looking at the Hall of Fame, Johan Cardinal, I think, will remain level with David Marshall forever. He got 2 clean sheets last episode and that put him level with David Marshall, and he will stay there forever because he's left now, he's gone to Stoke. So unless Yvonne Mvogo can get, I think, 16 clean sheets is what he needs, or 17 clean sheets. Nevertheless though, that is the end of a pretty hectic episode in comparison to what I was expecting it to be. 2 very good games and a very interesting transfer window in comparison to what I was expecting it to be. If you've enjoyed this video, then of course feel free to smash the likes button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and comment about enjoying the video if you enjoyed it that much. Have a great day though guys, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.